Okay.
Got the mics on?
This is on.
We're good.
Okay, meeting will come to order. Roll call. Denise, you want to start?
Denise Barker.
Gary Rattle. Jim Rattle.
Lori Pizzoloki.
Hasno here.
Cindy Lewis.
Jeff Weingart.
Dito Giardino.
Thank you. Certified posting of meeting. Cindy?
Yep. There's an affidavit of posting that certifying that on Monday, October 6, 2025, the agenda for the Town of Rome Ad Hoc Committee meeting for Wednesday, October 8, 2025, was posted at the Rome Town Hall at 3:40 p.m., posted at Quick Trip LLC at 3:57 p.m., posted at Nakusa Port Edward State Bank at 3:51 p.m., and emailed to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune at 11:28 a.m.
Thank you.
Why is there not a posting done at the library?
I don't know the answer to that question. Wendy,
You know what? You should maybe the administrator, because what I remember when I used to do it for the police commission, we do it at the they send it to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune. Like you said, the bank, Quick Trip, and right outside the door here.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good idea. But then again, it's not a glass enclosed. Whereas someone could just pull it off the board. Whereas everywhere we post it, it's got a lock on it and it's got an encasement.
Oh, okay. So
that could very well be why.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you all have a copy of the agenda. Do we hear a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Agenda is approved. You all have a copy of the October 2 meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve? Second. Approved and second, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we get into the discussion and possible action for the preparation for December 3 meeting. But before we do that, I want to kind of recap where we left off last week in terms of some things that we thought we should try to do. In terms of what else can we do? What can people do? And I think the list that I made was that we would stop at the town hall, pick up letters, postcard with the PSD meeting, sign a petition, pick up signs, meet with business owners and various groups and boards, and to keep informed. My brain was working a little bit this morning when I thought, I hatched a thought that, we talked at one point in time about a class action lawsuit with the towns in Wisconsin against the PSC and name every solar company that's involved, which all we have to do that, I believe, is to find an attorney who will represent us, whether it's ours or somebody else, and I'm sure that somebody would pick that up pro bono because of the publicity that they would get. But I have a unique thought this morning about what would we ask for relief. We're not going to tear down the solar farms that are out there, but how about a 50% revenue share? How about we force these solar farms to give up half of their income to the towns where they've forced their way in and built these solar farms? It's an interesting thought, and I think it's one that bears further discussion and possibly action to try to find an attorney who would represent us. And all of the towns in Wisconsin, there's 30 of them, as we know. We're the 31st, supposedly. You guys saw that in my letter that I copied that to the DNR, for example. How could you let this happen to 30? Not one single one of them has been rejected. But that's a thought we should probably keep in the back of our heads, because this is all about money.
Would that class action lawsuit include the solar farm companies? Mm-hmm. Okay, because right now they don't own them. And a lot of them that have sold them off to the solar companies, they technically don't own the solar farms.
That's correct, but they had revenue from the sale.
Yes, they did.
And I believe that Akron Solar is going to operate this one. At least that's what I've been thinking, because they're a wholly owned subsidiary of NextEra.
I doubt it. They'll sell it off.
Yeah.
They sold off the one with a different company. I don't know what they sold off to Alliant Energy. So they're all in cahoots, so one way or the other.
I mean, if we were to win such a class action lawsuit, then it wouldn't have to be pro bono. There's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of money involved. So maybe it's something that we can focus on.
No, I don't care.
I'm sorry. I'm still like,
Well, you know what, Jeff?
Everybody, this is Karen DeRuff. DeRuff. She is our new town administrator.
Karen DeRuff.
Welcome, Karen.
I apologize.
Jeff,
I thought, I'm sorry.
I think it's busy.
What's going on in there, Michelle? She said, that's the ad hoc solar. So,
Karen DeRuff. Do you know everything about the town of Rome? That's like that.
I'm learning, but I am a quick study, and I did know all about the solar before I came. I've had an opportunity to get on the PSC website, take a look at what's happening right now with all the application process that NextEra is in, and so I'm really just in here today. Just want to listen and get caught up to speed on
We're
this
open up
stuff.
suggestions as it goes.
Well, Jeff, I was thinking you were talking about, class action. Have you reached out to Christiana?
No.
Because they are in the appeal process.
Yeah.
I've been kind of watching them. And I'm wondering, obviously, if they're in the appeal process, they have an attorney. And maybe reaching out to them,
I think Stan's still handling all that.
well, we need to know what's happening there. We reached out to Morgan,
I've been in contact with him.
right? And I'm thinking, we need to pick and choose from these other towns, and maybe they could piggyback on us, or we could piggyback on them and say, what's working? And if you've got attorneys, let's team up. Because Christiana is ahead of us in the game. They're already in the appeals court.
Different issue, but yes.
But it's the same issue in the sense that they want a solar farm in the community.
Correct.
Right. So we need to find out and identify all these towns and start, saying, okay, do they want to get on board? And what can we do?
It's not just the towns in Wisconsin. I got a letter this morning from property owner from the state of Kansas, and they started passing legislation against NextEra for some of the underhanded things they're doing. They are apparently going after towns with limited resources to fight them. And this letter is pretty explanatory. I sent it on to Jeff already. I haven't sent it out to anybody else because I got to digest the whole thing. But it's kind of an indictment of what they've been doing. Yeah.
Well, and I think I mentioned that in one of the several letters that I wrote. I keep losing track of all the ones that I've been writing, but the point of that they were targeting towns that have limited resources, and that's a pattern. And they're doing it. They're doing it intentionally, and they know they're doing it, and they probably are surprised at some of the reactions they're getting here. But let's go back to in other words, I'm a little disheartened to hear again that somebody didn't know anything about the solar farm. That should be frustrating to all of us. I mean, we've done everything we can possibly think of to educate the community, and why is that?
Because, if you think about it, we are a unique community. Isn't the majority of people know? Are there going to be a few pockets? Yes, because if you think about it, if I'm not a next door and I'm only Shoes Brougham as my seasonal place, I'm just thinking of one particular one across from us, the campers. I've stopped in, I've said hello, they're not open to talking. This is before the solar farm. So they really are in. They come, they camp, they go, they don't get involved. They don't see things, they don't care. They're not out at the Camelot Lodge. They come. So I think that's where those people are, Jeff.
Okay.
Is it the majority? No. But I think there are a few of those pockets of people who come. This is my weekend, my seasonal. I don't care to talk to anybody. I don't care to get to know my neighbors. I just come here and then I go home. And I do believe there are some pockets of those people. Do you guys agree?
A lot of these people that the new ones that just bought by us, there's three brothers. Same thing's happening down by them. They're fighting it down there, and they come up here to get away from it. He said, "No, we're going to be fighting it here."
It could just be ugly.
I was just gonna say, as a suggestion, it might be helpful if you guys had a full timeline of, just your, key things that you've done, all of the stuff that you've done leading up to this point, date and what it was, just as a list that you can provide people when they make that comment, because those comments are gonna come forward, and if you've got people, it's frustrating to you guys, but if you have people that, as you said, they're just not willing to engage, and then later, if they come back and go, well, how did we never know about this? Well, here's all the information and everything that we've been doing leading up to this point. We have been out there. We have been doing these things. We've been having meeting after meeting.
We do have.
You can hand that off to them and say, please help and get involved. If you want to know,
We have that.
here we are.
We actually have the list of action items that we provided to the town board, and in our presentation on the Saturday, we had checked off the things that we had already done.
Yeah.
So that information is absolutely out there.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot, and I was thinking about that this morning. We've done quite a bit of stuff, and I was a little bit disappointed to see that there's still a stack of signs out there. How many signs are left? We bought 500 of them. How many are left?
I don't know what's in the room there. I've already taken 170 over to visit, to Rome Outdoors. He's been going through quite a few. So,
Do we have, did Quick Trip let us put one in their yard? Or no?
Sorry?
Did Quick Trip let us put one in their
I
yard?
didn't ask them. I didn't know what, but,
You might have to look at Farming Across.
yeah, but,
What if we just put one out there? Could we put one by the stop signs?
you can't be
There's
on the,
stoplights?
you have to be off the easement, so it'd be on their property technically.
Okay, well, we got limits of time, so
That I gave away in right away. Oh, yeah.
Only for
Yeah,
elections.
that was one of my questions today was, can I take extras to give them to people that can't get here during the week? Okay, all right.
Okay, so the first thing on the list was then stop at the town hall, pick up letters. Lori has written 3 wonderful letters. So the question is, what do we do with those? Do we make some trays out there, put a sign up and put them in the vestibule? Let people know on all of the social media sites that anybody participates in and anywhere else that they can pick up those letters and then a copy of who to send them to.
Though, Jeff, what you're getting is a response, a generic response for those people that have sent letters. I've seen that on my emails, and I'm saying, okay, so is it going to the people we want it to go to, or is it just automatically, yes, we got your response, thank you? I mean, that could be just something automatic on the computer. And that's what I've seen so far. There's no personal response addressing anything. It's just generic.
Well, the ones I sent were directed to 2 different people, officials at the DNR.
Did they respond?
No. But it was their email at the DNR. In other words, I went on the DNR
Again,
website.
they didn't respond, and if you got a generic response saying, thank you for your letter. So, again, my question would be, are we reaching these people?
Well, I don't know if we can control that though, Vito.
Right, I know.
You know,
I'm just kind of
And if
thinking it
there's a
through.
tally, if somebody all of a sudden looks and like, what? I got 500 letters from the town of Rome? Like,
Yeah. I was looking for the letters on the table this morning because I anticipated that they might already be there, because I really want to utilize the glorified wording in all of the letters and kind of incorporate it, but I'm going to handwrite them and I'm going to send them to every one of those addresses. It's got to make a difference. Not just emailing it, not just calling it in.
One of the emails that I sent all of you, if you read it, was that if it's less than 25 complaints, they consider it to be what was the word they used? Minor.
Right,
Meaning that if it's over 25, now maybe they're going to pay attention to it.
right. So
I mean, there's not 25 of us.
my question is the 25 got to be that it's the electronic responses, or can it be the handwritten
Oh, I think it can be
responses?
anything you want it to.
Okay.
Somebody's got to be accountable for this, and this transcends politics. I mean,
Yeah, and Earl is one of them that's got to be responsible for this. You know, after rereading his response that had been emailed around, I'm just completely pissed. I mean, it's worth a trip to Madison and stand in his lobby and complain. It's just not okay.
Well, how do we get the letters? Let's just assume that since we discussed about writing the letters and Lori took the time and effort to write the letters, how do we get those letters to the people that want them? And I don't care if it's 10 or 500, but at least we need to get the word out that they're here so they don't have to write their own letters. They can if they want to, but at least it's been done. I mean, we need a tray out there with 3 different letters and a sign that says, here's your letters, and then also something they can take with them about who to send them to. They can choose who to send them to. So,
And we can make up all the copies here. Go ahead and do that. The address is already out there. I think you still have to have 1 or 2 more, but that should be a no-brainer. I was going to bring a bunch of them in. Actually, I did make some copies up for the first one came out, but
so
start
can we
thinking
get
about the addresses.
who's gonna make sure that all gets done? I don't want to keep looking at you, Carl.
I'll do it.
But I mean,
I've got letters. I can copy. We'll come in here and copy them up. It's not a problem.
okay.
And then get a sign out there. Please send to all of them.
Well, and then when we're still talking about to people, we can tell them too, you know, but the social media work.
Well, we also
Have them on the outside table. They don't have to be able
Yes.
to get into the town hall,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay, great, thanks.
Can we put that information on the website to say, hey, this is what we have for letters?
Yeah, we should.
Go get them? Or can we make copies on the email that they can actually copy from your email on our website?
Well, if we put it on the website as a Word file, as a Word doc, then they can pull it down and customize it. They can pull it down, put their own name, change something they don't like, add something that wasn't there.
Make it both. Make it a PDF and a Word because some folks don't have.
Right.
Right. And that's what we talked about doing originally, and from that idea came the idea, can we have physical copies? Because, let's face it, you know, there's people that want to, you know,
Well, I know, but if people living in other areas say, oh, I want a letter, but I can't get there, go to the website, it's all there.
Yep.
Do property tax bills go out of this office? Or is it
Through the county, yes.
the county, but do they get mailed out of this office so we don't have?
No, they do come out of the county.
Okay.
what is our address?
We had the base. We just have to send our postcard.
Do we want to send those out like we did the alert?
Mail.
That's what I'm thinking.
Email? Yeah. To send the 3, choose one of these 3 if you like, and here's the people to send it to.
Email or postal?
Email.
Oh, sure, that's an easy one.
Yeah, that's what I was
I mean, yeah, even if we are only going to get 2,000 or 3,000 people, we're still getting 2,000 or 3,000 people. I never got any of them, even though I got a tax bill, but I never got any of it. So maybe I don't exist.
You know,
And that's not a bad thing.
Speaking of that, you know, and that, where would a business, as in, you know, the business that was going to host the meeting, how would they have gotten all those addresses?
On the website. Just look them all up. Friday morning, I spent about 3 hours copying down all the businesses on a spreadsheet. I got four pages of businesses. I was going to bring that up later here about some help on that, but it's on the website.
But I'm saying, how would the businesses, like, okay, I'm just thinking of next year sending out those postcards.
How did they get all the addresses?
Addresses for town of Rome.
You can go through
It's a list from
tax rolls, it's all public. Yeah.
I got their card.
Oh, yeah.
Probably went in the recycle bin, but
Yeah, and I mean, like property records, you go on to the property records, you can get all the addresses right there for all the properties. Emails aren't in there, but I mean, that's a way that you could get all of the property records, and then with those property records, it's going to give the owner address, not just the parcel address. It gives the owner address. That would be another way to capture those owners who live out of town.
okay, so we'll do an e-letter as well. The next item was a postcard with the PSC meeting on it. I had another thought on that, but I'll get to that in a minute. But we did a mailing with the postcard before, and it cost, what, $4 or $5 grand?
Oh, no. It was 61 cents per card, 5,000 cards. It was 3,000 plus the post. It was only $300 or $400 from the quality printing for print them all out, so it was under 4.
So should we design a postcard with the PSC meeting to alert people
Oh, yeah,
that we
for
have
sure, and get that out at least 2 weeks ahead of time.
send that out? Do we need to get approval from the board to do that?
We'll let it in.
Yeah, but you need to wait to find out where we're gonna have this meeting.
Yeah,
I mean, the last I heard,
Well, no, this is the PSC meeting. That's
what I'm talking about.
There's 2 of them. There's 2.
I know, but they're coming here.
Well, they're coming here.
So we need
They're
to
gonna
find
be
a
here
place
somewhere.
for them. Let's just say we wanna have a place for,
It's not big enough.
no. That's
We're
what
looking,
we're
we're looking at
for.
locations. We got 600, community center, 600 person down at Friendship. You've got the Lincoln High School that holds 800. There's another community center in Rapids that holds another 600. You got the Mead. So we need to find one of those. I don't know what Arrowhead holds, but theirs is pretty good size too.
Well,
But I don't know who's gonna set
let
the
me
date
ask
up.
the question that nobody's going to appreciate. Okay.
Location.
We had 250 some people here that showed up for a meeting that we went way out of our way to advertise. And it was here in the middle of Rome. Why would we think, just playing the devil's advocate, why would we think that if we move that meeting to another venue where people have to get in their cars and drive for 10 or 15 minutes,
In winter time.
why would we think that there's going to be more people that show up? I don't think there would be.
And our meeting was on a Saturday, whereas this is going to be a weekday. And so the hours for the meeting also are not real conducive. And PSC is doing that on purpose, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think this space is the smartest space.
And if and when this hearing happens, the media is going to know about it. It's
Yeah.
during the week. And what would be better than for them to show how it was packed and people couldn't get in the door as a testament to how much people here do not want the solar.
Yeah. Could we have overflow to this room video of what's going on in there? So that we don't have just that room, we have this space as well?
Because it's gonna be cold and people are not gonna stand outside.
Right.
Does it include all of Adams County can come to this meeting? Anybody can come to this?
You've got a financial interest, sure. I mean, the folks at Morganton did bring some folks over too. My fear is that we'd be way over capacity on that and have some issues there. That's my fear.
Yeah, but look at it this way. If you had 400 people, or that's capacity, 400 people that showed up for this, which would be...
What if it's 600?
Pardon me?
What if it's 600?
Well, then 600 people are
You know,
not...
I'll be clapping for the 600.
But I'm not going to get to testify. Remember, this is a hearing where people are going to testify. That means that it's not somebody to get up and grab the mic and bitch about the solar farm. They have to testify to specific things, and they have to be somewhat prepped.
It's pretty good size.
So our lawyer would need to spend some time getting information out to the residents of this is a hearing. So this is testimony. This is not a bitch session. This is not, I live here and I don't like the solar farm. This is specific things that they believe are going to happen. And, you, for example, you could talk about the butterflies or the bats, whatever the case may be. But, I mean, at the end of the day, this is testimony that they have to hear. I think my own personal belief is if they couldn't all get in here and the news is outside showing all this, it's going to go all over the airwaves that we had an overwhelming response to the Public Service Commission. Now, there may only be 200 people who show up. I don't
On
know.
that postcard, we're going to have to make sure that there's something that indicates that it will be a circumstance of testimony.
That's where our attorney needs to put something on this card. And the other thing about the card is, even though we're going to spend money mailing them, I believe, and I would do this, I would volunteer to do this, that little trifold thing that, was it Kurt?
Yeah.
That Kurt brought. If we make one of those, I will stand by the stop sign, the stoplight out there for a day and hand them out to everybody who stops at the stop sign. I'll do it. And if we do it from all 4 directions, then you're getting people that are driving through.
Yeah.
There's no dogs to bite you, and there's no doors to slam. can wear a T-shirt, and even if it's cold out, we can wear a T-shirt over whatever we're doing, and people will see that that's what we're representing, and they'll take our pieces of paper.
I was thinking, we have 2 meetings that will be scheduled, and I suppose if we can try and control how many come to the first, how many come to the second, we probably could use the room here, but I'm not sure how we handle
They're all
it.
the same day, one's at 2, one's at 6.
Yeah, but you know what? If that's the case, we can require people, once it's announced, please reserve a seat. Yeah, but you can't get, but you see, but you gotta remember, he's right. You're not gonna wanna have somebody coming in and we gotta tell them at the door, you can't come in.
We should have got here earlier.
Yeah, but that's why if we really could possibly have something set up for an overflow.
This room only holds about, what, 50?
Karen mentioned the fire station, and actually, we could get quite a few people in there with the engine.
Where?
The fire station. The station.
I've never been in there, so I don't know what, I have no idea what it looks like, so.
Yeah. It's pretty good size, though.
Yeah, that would be really big.
Bring your own chairs.
Yeah.
They're not gonna travel to Lincoln.
And then what about parking outside?
Just a heads up too, as far as audio goes, I'm working with a company called Audio Architects, and they should be out here in a couple of weeks to look at our whole system. So we might have something available everywhere. We'll see. But
So when you talk about the hearing too, that it's not just so what are you saying, that people have to be prepared to bring like what?
I think that's where our lawyer comes in. Our lawyer needs to coach us on what we need to say that's relevant to the hearing. Let me give you a good example. If you haven't, then I would encourage you to read the application that NextEra made to the PSC. The PSC has really yes or no questions on their application. And I'll give you one that really jumped out at me. Have you conducted outreach to the community? Yes. Okay, well, why isn't there a follow-up? What was the response? This is on the PSC. This is not on NextEra. Yeah, sure we did. Yep, we did this, and we did that, and we did this, and we did that. We had meetings, and there might have only been 25 people that showed up, but you know what? So what? Those are the kinds of things that we need to get into when we get into testimony that yeah, well, it wasn't very well advertised. You didn't reach all of the citizens of Rome, so we only had maybe 25, 30, 40 people show up, and it's on the video. So it was a question and answer period, and most people didn't know what a solar farm looked like even. But there's thousands of people that live here. So you didn't do diligence, NextEra, in finding a way to communicate with all the residents of Rome to make sure that they were here for your outreach.
But you're saying that that's on the PSC because describe outreach. And there's also no accountability, is there? It's a yes or a no. If they say yes,
It
okay,
says
yes.
that they met with the president of the local snowmobile club and ATV club. Something, I forgot the terminology that they used. Who? Give me a name. Get that person in front of a microphone, in front of the PSC to say, what did you say when they told you were going to wipe out your ATV and snowmobile trails?
did you read what they said? They're working with them.
They're working with them.
They're not going to get anything. They're going to end up riding the roads because ATVs are allowed on all county roads and town roads. And as far as snowmobiles, they're going to be in the ditches. They're not going to put paths in anywhere. They're fooling themselves if they think they are.
My point is there's a lot of information in there, and it's on the PSC. It's like checking a box. Boom, boom, boom. Yep, they checked all the boxes. Let's give them the permit. Let's go ahead.
Maybe no one's ever looked into that before. No one's ever. That's one of the things that I'd like the PSC to do, is that know that we are looking at those specifics. We're not just taking that at face value.
But they've done that with every single application. That application is a form. So no wonder they're approving these things.
Well, right, but
They don't get any feedback as to what were the results of the outreach. What were the results of talking to different people, telling them what the impact is going to be. They don't care.
would that be also a time of grading studies about or no?
It could be, yeah. That's why I say I think Stanley supposedly is representing a lot of the different towns. He doesn't have a great track record if he's got 30 of them. But the point
have 30.
Okay. But the point is, he should be able. He's probably attended at least one of those hearings.
He actually said he doesn't like to attend them because he wants us to be there front and center. But Mark and I said, we want you there in case the legal mumbo jumbo comes up and help us out in any of that.
Well, we will be there, but he needs to coach us on what the proceeding involves.
Yeah.
What can we expect as citizens of Rome to witness with one of these hearings, and how can we participate? Because most of these people don't know.
Yeah, I did send him the testimony from Danilo or whatever his name is. I also sent him all my responses, which everybody here got. And he's working on all of that. And then, well, I'll cover it later on the other part here, but we had a good long conversation with Stan. So.
What is the fire chief's name?
Mark Kane.
You know, I was thinking, it's obvious it's going to be hard to do this alone. And we only got in our corner at this time Scott Krug.
Maybe not. I got more to say.
Well, we need to get others, starting with the county.
That's what I was thinking. Why don't we have the county administrator?
Why not start with our county representatives in our town? Now, we already got Mark, but you got two others that know about this issue are doing nothing. You know who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. That's Baker and McLaughlin. Okay? Why can't we start getting them on board and find out where they stand? And then start moving on to representatives from these towns like Morgan Township, Christiana, and start getting them involved through Scott Krug and through letters of our own. We need to kind of get people, a coalition now. We need to get people involved because obviously the letters, that's one angle, but we need to reach out someone up in the halls of Madison over there.
I think we should invite Tony Earl to our meeting with the PSC December 3rd so that he can see what's happening in our community in response to the solar farm trying to come here.
You mean Evers?
Yeah. Isn't that what I said?
You said Earl.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
He won't come.
You know what? He doesn't care anymore because basically Scott said he's on his way out. Now, if we could find out who's running.
Well, wait a minute, because Scott did leave a crack open in the door.
He did.
Yeah.
He did say that because he's on his way out,
Right.
maybe he would be willing to listen to folks on the right as well as folks on the left, and not feel like he's beholden to his party because he doesn't care. Now, I don't know.
If it's okay with the committee, I would like to send him a personal letter inviting him to attend one or the other PSC meetings here.
So he can look in the eyes of the people that are in the state which he supposedly governs.
Yeah. I mean,
How many here have sent a letter to the governor already on that site we put out there? We need more. That'll get us attention. You get enough of them going. One of his assistants might say, you might want to look at this. And it's not happening right now.
is there any assistant that anybody has talked to more than once in his office?
Talk to him.
Yeah. Okay.
Imagine you'll go into voicemail and then they'll pick and choose who gets to hear whatever you have to say. Is there anybody on this committee that is able to compile a list of anybody and everybody who is the leader of any organization within the town of Rome? I'm talking Tri-Lakes, I'm talking 14 Mile, I'm talking the snowmobile. Those people need to testify at this hearing.
Tri-Lakes will. Tri-Lakes has already supported this with a resolution. Snowmobile and ATV clubs probably won't touch it because they have to be neutral. Yeah.
Right, because what would happen in Saratoga, we're working with them right now, and we've talked about this at our snowmobile, our snowmobile club meetings, like we really feel that we have to remain neutral, because otherwise they could pull the plug, and then even if the trails suck, and you can go on our perimeter, at least we could connect the north-south perimeter. I mean, they have us over a barrel, they really do. Even if we use their land, even if it's just, like going along their fences, we feel like we can't, we can't.
How about members of those clubs?
Oh, individually, sure.
Agree, that's right here.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. The members are, yeah, sorry?
Correct, Gary, correct.
I found something, I woke up one night here a couple of days ago, and
You were here and you woke up?
I've been eating and sleep drinking this thing. Ticked me off. But I found this, and I don't know, maybe we talked about this or somebody, I read, this is on the PSC thing, community and public health factors, orderly land use. The project must not be unreasonably interfered with community existing land use and development plans. I don't know, has the town of Rome made any other plans for the future? I mean, like Sand Valley motels coming in here, a sewer system that we might have to put in, or connecting the, that land out there, if that gets used, 25 years is a long time. If we have to put in our own sanitary system, that's where it could probably go. I was just thinking last night about motels across the road from the industrial park over here. That land would be perfect for them. And that would tie us up. Now we can't do anything.
One of the complaints I made to the PSC was that we have a comprehensive plan that they've just basically destroyed. And they're ignoring it totally. And I think somebody said it might have some legs too. I mean, everything we're looking at might help, but we need a silver bullet somewhere. But
Okay, so is there any, is anybody, you guys all said you'd volunteer to do it, can we make the trifold thing and stand out there and have?
we have a machine here that'll fold them.
Like I said, I'm happy to do it, I'll wear my, solar, everybody would know, we just need 4 people. I mean, anybody going through Rome, any direction is gonna see that, they're gonna get it, and that just helps. But that should be the trifold about the PSC. If you want to get involved, there's your time to get involved. And that's where I think we need, before we create that postcard and that trifolder, we need to get some pointers from the stands about what a citizen can do in terms of testifying. Because you know what, I mean, if enough people did show up, if there's a lot of people and they ran out of time, they probably would go, wow, glad that's over with, holy moly. Never went through that before.
But I thought we had to have our complaints into the PSC by October 24th.
27th, but yes. The information back to Stan so he can get it all formalized. That doesn't mean we can't use other testimony on December 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a public hearing, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they can't run out of time. They have to carry it forward until everybody has had their opportunity to speak.
So you will be those 3 members of the PSC coming here?
Supposedly.
They're all very young. If anybody's interested, I printed out their sort of dossiers if you want. Summer Strand, 10-year 2023 to present. So she is the, let's see, what's her position? I wrote it down in my email. She's the chair. She's the chairman or the chairperson. From these pictures, they're all young. They're just young kids. I mean, compared to me anyhow. Christy Nito or Naito, 2024 to now. And she's the Public Service Commission. What's her title? Not sure. And this guy didn't have a picture, but he's young. I took some of another picture. His name is Marcus Hawkins, 2024. So these people have only been in their positions. They all have the same base salary of $126K. I don't know if they get bonuses or whatnot, but we're going to be. The reason that's relevant to this discussion is we're a bunch of old people. We've got these 30-somethings that we're going to be trying to convince. So it's a different generation of people that have different values than we do. Where we value our home and we value our home life and peace and tranquility and serenity and beauty, they may not. It's a hustle bustle of a big city. Who cares?
We cannot protect them.
And then, this is the letter that they provided. If you didn't read it, well, I wished you would have, but if you didn't read it, the potential natural resources, this is the part that really got me, because they list them all. Some recreational trails, snowmobile and ATV would be closed or rerouted for the operational life of the project. Some. Vegetation screening would be used to reduce the visual impact of the project from public roadways and other vantage points. Okay, I don't know what vegetation means. Is it trees? Is it, 30-foot tall red pines? When I built my house, I thought that having 5 rows of trees would obscure me from people. It's like looking through a screen door. I mean, 5 rows isn't enough. Construction in and through commercial forests.
How about that?
They are terming that commercial forests.
Technically not, it's MFL.
They don't use MFL anywhere in this document.
Oh, I think they try to ignore that intentionally.
Commercial red pine plantation for pulpwood production. Clearing this area would result in fewer environmental impacts than in mature, diverse upland forests. Well, that's a crock of hooey. Commercial forestry production. It's not fully known whether decommissioning a long-term utility-scale solar project can return the project area to previous conditions. So they don't know that. This is all in the letter explaining why it doesn't require an environmental impact study. Commercial forestry use, the applicant anticipates that the negotiation and execution of a joint development agreement with local governments would require the project to provide decommissioning plan and potential financial assurance that such a plan can be completed. Well, that's the first truthful thing they said in this whole letter. But I don't know who's organizing that joint development. So the conclusion is, it's not expected to cause any significant environmental effects.
I know, I couldn't believe it when I read
Some animals may be displaced from the project area, especially during the construction phase. No significant impacts on the human environment that would warrant the preparation of an EIS are expected if this project were constructed using some combination of the currently proposed array sites and associated project facilities. Thus, preparation of an EIS, as described in Wisconsin Statute 1.11, is not required. So this isn't like a suggestion. This is like a statement. It's not required. And that's what triggered me to go after the DNR on this.
There's more. I sent out a list to everybody of all the experts that they have on there with their cursory, we'll say, assessments. But you start reading into what they're actually saying is kind of nonsense. They did find 2 adult Carner blue butterflies in the area. They also list a bunch of other items in there that are going to be affected, but, and so what? There's no mention at all about hunting. These hunters have the right to use that land as long as it's the lower cost MFL land. There's nothing in there mentioned about that. As far as the lack of an EIS, I sent that to Stan and I said, we need to demand an EIS. I've already been in contact with our environmental engineers at Trilex EOR. They do these kind of studies. Unfortunately, they do them for a lot of the solar farms, but he said, I told him I want something totally unbiased. He said they couldn't get it done by the 27th. So I told Stan, too, I said, that date's no good. They have to either extend it or we go through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, who they won't give a crap about the dates that the town or the state sets. They don't care. If they find something that's important enough next year, they'll say you're done. That's not likely, but you never know. I mean, again, we'll see what works out there. But there's just so much nonsense in there. Read through what I sent you. It gives you each of their experts' statements in there. And Stan even told me about one of them in there. Is just call him a whore, basically. He'll do whatever, say whatever he has to say to get his paycheck. And it was one of the attorneys. And you read some of the other comments in there, and you go, you sons of guns. I'm sure the PFC is not reading each one of those statements. They're just probably looking at the overview and saying, oh, yeah, okay. But you start reading through what they had to say in there, and you say, you're ignoring so much of the facts yourself. It is sad.
Anything. You're not
No, not at all. No.
as a public Service Commission.
Yeah, they come out right out and admit that it's going to be, there will be some harm. They admit it on some of these letters. So I suggest everybody read them because they'll give you some ammunition also for the when we get into the testimony.
I cited in my letter to the PSC that there were 3 statutes, 2 in the state of Wisconsin and 1 from the United States Congress that talked about energy. It didn't limit it to solar farm, but basically talked about the aesthetic value in the community and the community people having the voice, which we don't have. I know that this is the state of Wisconsin, but I believe the United States Congress oversteps the state, and it says right there, and I reproduced it and I quoted it in my letter. So it's not just about animals, and it includes animals, and includes people, and includes environment, but it's not just about the environmental impact, but it's also about the aesthetic qualities of it. And that's what we're talking about here in a nice vacation community.
Yeah, and even one of the statements that the guy is making, they said, they saw the 2 adult butterflies, but they said there's a lot of the lupines in there, which is the only source of food for these things. So I said, okay, it doesn't take a lot of genius to figure that one out. So as far as Congress goes, the fellow I was talking to this morning, a long conversation, and I sent you his thing about Kansas. He's apparently friends with Derek Van Orden, and apparently Derek's taking an interest in this. And during a shutdown, they might be able to do something else. We don't know. So we're going to
I wrote Derek a letter and he didn't respond, and I wrote Ron Johnson a letter.
This guy's friends with him, so we'll see what happens here. So he's taking an interest in it.
Did we get anything from the guy in Waukesha, the alderman who supposedly knows all these people?
Not yet.
Who?
Chris Seals.
Did you see on the news about Trump stopping all the environmental funds to California?
He did for several states, but did not include Wisconsin. And I suspect, as you heard Scott Krug say, that there were a couple of holdouts on the GOP side that didn't want that to impact them. And I don't think it was from Wisconsin people. I think it was from like the typical Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski and whoever else. And I did listen to that because my ears perked up, but they did not list Wisconsin in there.
And I was hoping maybe it would dribble down.
Well, I think now we're into politics, and we shouldn't be. But I think what happened was that what Trump was identifying blue states and how he was going to take the money away from the blue states. The red or purple states, like Wisconsin's a swing state, was not included in that. And so didn't want to, piss off the wrong people, I guess. But maybe it wouldn't matter. Maybe they couldn't do it state by state. Maybe it would just be, it's done, it's gone, I'm not going to get there. I still think the revenue sharing is something that we ought to look into. But a question for Stan. Being that this is a hearing, are we able to subpoena anybody?
Interesting.
Because the people that found these endangered species could be subpoenaed to testify. We could subpoena, I'm sorry, but we could subpoena the leaders of snow bandits and whatever else to testify, which means they simply have to ask questions, answer questions under oath. If you testify usually means you're under oath. So I got to believe that if whether they wanted to show up or not, whether they wanted to be, we got to take the gloves off, folks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was just looking, I just asked Carl, has anybody emailed the White House and the president? And there is a website you can go to, and it's a fill-in form. It's whitehouse.gov/contact. And it pulls up a contact us page, and it's just a fill-in form. You fill in your information. You can put the organization, so you guys can put the, whatever you call your group, No Solar Farm.
See that again, whitehouse.gov.
Whitehouse.gov/contact. And it should pull up the contact us page, or if you just have whitehouse.gov, on the face of that page, there's a contact us
I did.
Yep, and then as you scroll down, there's a section where you can put all your comments up to 4,000 characters. So you can put a significant amount of information in that. And then you just click submit, and it gets sent to them.
I think I'll do it again. I should do it every day.
I sent an email to Chris, whatever his name is, who's the Secretary of Energy, a long time ago. I didn't hear back from him either. Asked him to
Chris Van Hollen? Chris Van Hollen?
I don't think it's a ban anything. It was Christopher or something. I forgot it already. That's what happens when you
Well,
say
what department?
Department of Energy. Because I'm sure that's where the grants are flowing from. That's where it is.
Yeah. In Wisconsin, these grants trickle through the Office of Energy Innovation for the solar grants. That's what they're coming through as the OEI.
Is that a Wisconsin department?
That's Wisconsin's Department of Energy.
Where does
Office
that
of
go
Energy
into the
Innovation.
federal?
I'm trying to visualize on the paperwork that I've looked at. I can do some digging and find it back, but that's where the funding comes through. And one of the things I learned with all of this, and it doesn't necessarily apply to this project, but this funding is difficult to capture back. I'm sure that these companies like NextEra coming in and doing a project like this, it's pretty easy. One of the challenges I had with getting reimbursed over there, we had 3 separate solar projects, different than this, but getting reimbursed for this because it was grants applied for. The level of detail on these invoices is incredible for when they come in and they do the install. The level of detail required on these invoices makes it next to impossible for these communities who've taken on these, like the city I came from, they owned the property and they were leasing the property out to this solar company, who then in turn creates a shell company and then sells that to the PSC or to WPS, right? The company, so the grant funds have to pass through the city. The level of detail on the invoices to get reimbursed for this grant funding is insane. They want the model, serial number, part numbers on each piece of equipment, and the employee that worked that day to install that on one invoice. So even these smaller companies that are getting sucked into doing these solar installs are having a difficult time creating these invoicing for communities that are going through this process. But somebody like NextEra or EDF Renewables was one of the companies that I was having to deal with. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they probably got.
I don't want to sound like,
barcode
down
their
in my...
employee badge, barcode scan the part, and then boom, it's done. Goes into the program because they got the money. All right, the next thing on the list was the signing of the petition. What are we doing with those? I mean, by now, I would think we have over 1,000 signatures.
Yep, we're over 1,000. I was going to have Donna put it in a Word file right now until we're done, then put it in a PDF and send it to everybody. And I've also gotten another 92 on the electronic version, so since what,
So that's going to be going.
I'll create that anytime, but we'll see we shut it down. I mean, you tell me, we'll shut it down and we'll compile it.
I don't know that we have to ever shut it down, but we can take whatever we have.
Right. That's why I feel like do a Word file, and then we can add to it and keep adding to it. So.
Yeah, I think we're getting close to the time that the hearing's coming up. I think we should probably get it out to people fairly quickly.
Yep. Okay.
What do you mean by get it out to people?
The people that need to see that we have a petition.
Politicians.
Over 1,000 signed.
Yeah, including the PSC.
Okay.
Yeah. 1,000 signatures of voters.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Do we?
Carl, we could take a page out of McDonald's and put it on our sign out there, over 1,000 signatures thus far.
Yeah.
people are always asking, what is our numbers? And when you start putting the strength up there, I mean, come on, remember McDonald's? Over 100,000 Big Macs sold.
I think it's up to $1 billion now.
But we'll take a page out of that and put it on our marquee or message board and let people see how much of an interest we have. This many people have signed, and put the question, have you signed?
They're still coming in there Saturday saying.
I know, but the question I'm saying is, we'll collect what we got.
Yeah.
Put the number out there and put the bottom. Have you signed?
Have them change it next day.
Yeah. Just a suggestion.
That's a great idea.
That's a really good idea.
But I did. I ran into people this week that hadn't signed yet, and then I said, "Can you go online?" They said, "Yes, I will." And so
But you see, if it's on the board,
oh, I know.
okay?
Quantity counts.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If people see the numbers rising and they see a movement, I think
There's a nice psychological appeal because people want to be a part of something.
Exactly.
Yep.
I like that. So
They want that.
if
They
you
want to
guys
be a
think
part
it's
of
a
mob
good point,
mentality.
let's do that. Let's do the count. Put the number out there. Have you signed? Be a part of it.
I like that.
Be a part of it.
We're done today.
Okay, good idea.
Okay, on the signs issues, if we've had the signs now for what, over a week? And we still have a bunch of them left. Can we put them on the side of Rome-owned roads?
As long as they're not in the easement, yes.
Because there is an ordinance,
Yeah.
and you can't put them out there. I mean, like even during when we were politicking, we had a time frame. And then within that time frame, if we didn't take them down, then the police would take them down. You'd have to pick up your signs at the police station. And that's an ordinance.
Well, we own roads, and I mean, people aren't going to drive to subdivisions and see signs, but they can, at the entrance to a subdivision or entrance to a road that ends with a subdivision, whatever the case may be. I mean, I see a few go up and down Alpine, but that's the only place I go. I haven't driven around the neighborhood, but can we and should we and can we go to and strategically place those? If we're legally entitled to do that, then we need
But
to
then
do
it'd be private property you're invading on. If you come off the easement, you're on somebody's property.
So then we can't put them up on our.
I'm just thinking because of the ordinance.
I put one on by the transfer site, but I just went off the easement and it's back on the transfer site property. So with town property, sure, we can put them on there, but it has to be off the easement. Because we do have an ordinance.
Leisure Lane. We have trees on one side, is that owned by?
Actually, there's a 2-foot section in there that the LCPOA owns. So you go to the easement, and then there's a 2-foot section. And if LCPOA says do it, we can go ahead and put it on that 2-foot section.
What about your monument signs coming in on the north and south?
We've already got banners on those.
Yeah, the banners look great, by the way.
All right, so I guess I'll leave that to you guys to decide whether we can put it anywhere, but if we can, we'll put them out there.
I think I'll put some more signs.
You know, I want to make one more point. We were talking about who we would like to have testify on December 3rd.
Anybody,
Well,
everybody.
I don't want to draw this out because then you get, like Ed Nozzle, like, okay, enough is enough because, I want to get some people involved that can have an impact. Like, for example, we've used the issue of how this is a fire danger. Does our state have a fire marshal?
Sure. State does.
Has anybody reached out to him to get his input to see, hey, are you
What are you
aware
doing
of
this afternoon?
Pardon me?
What are you doing this afternoon?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Tom, you got time, Vito?
Yeah, my wife's out of town again. But no, really, I mean, we need to kind of reach out. We know it's a fire danger. And I would think if DNR is not responding to our requests, let's go around them. Let's do an end run. And get people involved if we can. That's just an idea because all these points we're making, if we don't have any high-ranking people involved, okay, we might as well spit in the wind.
Well, I think the more high impact people you have involved, the PSC gets a little more nervous.
A little more what?
Nervous. That they're getting unwanted attention, and maybe it's time to give it a little more thought.
Especially if they haven't been attuned to the details. Hey, Vito, you want to contact that state fire marshal this afternoon?
I will do that because I was going to ask the committee permission to plan on my testimony being relative to the fire issue because that has been the get-go from the start for me about this whole thing because the solar company says let it burn if there's a fire in the battery building. I've had 2 lung volume reductions. If there is a fire that starts in that battery building, it will undoubtedly put me back in a circumstance where I have to live on oxygen.
Well, they would have to evacuate this whole community.
And where would they put these people in an evacuation?
Right.
This
I don't know where to
this
go
isn't an
if I'm
urban area. We
evacuated.
don't have a Red Cross shelter to put people in. We don't have anything.
You'll have
like
another East Palestine, Ohio.
A what?
You'll have another East Palestine, Ohio. And then the
You have
water.
a really good valid point, because this is me. It will kill me, or it will put me back on oxygen.
Right. And I mean, I have struggled to come back from living on the end of a tube. And I don't want to go back there because of
All right, so you're going to take care of the fire marshal. Okay, great.
I will get a hold of the state. That's why I was asking about.
Testimony right there. And there's a lot of other people in your.
And you know what?
Anybody that says no, then ask them, are you on record then, Mr. Fire Marshal of the state of Wisconsin, that you don't think it's a fire risk? Are you on record right now? Because you're the first person who's going to get sued when something happens.
Well, we don't want to say that.
No, but we would think that. He would think that. He would think that.
Have they defined in the event of a fire like that, have they defined in all how far out the perimeter of evacuation would go? I'm assuming no. So that was one question.
Well, the fumes are toxic, and we don't have anything to put them out with.
Right.
Yeah, next
Like,
hour
is
it
it
says.
evacuating the whole Wisconsin Rapids area too? How far out would
And
have to go?
and if they do,
They would now bring upon the Department of Public Health. I'm sure they have a secretary.
Maybe contact them too with that.
I mean, if we start reaching out to these people and you send them a letter, we are under the gun here with this. What is your take on this? You know, be creative. I mean, we have some letters. And like again, the fire marshal, if he may not be aware there's an issue in this state with that. Individual fire chiefs are, but then again, they have what they call the fire chiefs associations, firemen's associations. I don't know what they know.
well, what all they're going to do is they're going to say, and I read this, does the BESS have the latest requirements for fire suppression? And the answer to that is another box that gets checked. So when the PSC sees that box and the answer is yes, they don't ask the question, what if there were fire? How would they put it out? What would be the danger to the public? Blah, 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 blah. And so, yeah, there's a risk.
Well, and what's the maintenance schedule for that battery building? And who's responsible for that maintenance?
They're going to come back and say it's rare, it doesn't happen, blah, blah, blah. But what we need to do is have backup. Somebody's going to have to do some research, find out the fires that have happened. We heard about the one that went on for 4 days.
That's the one on the East Coast that's
Somewhere, yeah. Well, we need to get the backup on that and say, you can't say, yeah, it might be rare, but it's not impossible.
Right.
And then,
Don't we require sprinklers in all the buildings?
well,
the water would do no good.
Yeah, the sprinklers
I'm
will
just
listen.
saying, every single building that's built today has to have sprinklers in it.
Didn't that guy from Brookfield, he mentioned these people with electric cars parked in underground garages in high-rise apartment buildings, and they got sprinklers. You know what water does to electrical fire?
No, lithium.
Lithium, my bad. Boom. Right. And these people are parking their electric cars and the plug-ins, everything there. They want to be environmentally correct, and no one is even thinking about this. And the fire department, how are they going to come in an enclosed area, which is a garage, put out a fire?
Yeah, they can't. They said the building's gonna go and just bring the marshmallows.
Well, yeah, but you gotta get these people out.
You get the people out, yeah, but they can't put the fire out. You just
Thank
let
you.
it burn. That's
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another point on here, that bears some discussion. Meet with business owners and various group boards.
So,
Okay.
you know, the business owner things though, and this falls out to the play with avocados. When you sent the cards out there, did they get a card?
Well,
Yes.
Yes or no?
They were on the mailing list.
Yeah, but
They were.
my point with this is,
They may not have gotten it in time. though.
Right, I understand, because they live out of town.
my point with this is we should have a meeting, not a committee meeting, but a meeting, an informal meeting with business owners in the area where if we have to go door to door and invite them to make sure that they are understanding of what's going on here.
Do they have a chamber of commerce?
No, we don't. I was thinking about the business meeting, and the more I thought about it, I thought, yeah, that ain't gonna work. We had a Rome Business Alliance meeting on Monday night. There was 3 of us there. Yeah. I don't think the meeting's the right way to go. What I was gonna bring up, I do have a list now of all the companies in the town. It's about 80. And I've got various phone numbers, emails, whatever. I thought about distributing that out to the folks. Somebody make the calls, get their emails. Let's do it through email so they can respond. Because you try to get a meeting with these people, it's not going to happen because we had 3 show up out of all these. And the time factor for them, they say, well, I can't do here, I can't do here. Screw that. Send an email out and, simple questions. Are you aware of it, blah, blah, blah. In favor, and get that back, give them like 2 weeks and say, please respond within 2 weeks. Understanding that we will, I would say we promote the folks that are on our side in favor of it, but not say much about the other folks that, they might not be, they might be on the fence. Hoffman, they might be looking at it as a job, and I don't want to put anybody in jeopardy in that respect. People can draw their own conclusions if they don't support it.
A lot of concrete. There's going to be a lot of concrete.
Oh, yeah, it'd be a lot of concrete. But it's just give the businesses the opportunity to either support us or remain numb, I guess, in that respect. I think the email's the way to go.
I don't know if he came to one of our committee meetings or if he came to one of the meetings in there. He has that business on Alpine, that UTV, whatever he just started.
Yeah.
Oh, next to the
See a
Bliss.
sign in front of his building.
I've got the addresses. I can send them out to everybody. I don't have time right now. I've got some other issues going on. But I can send the addresses out to everybody. It's 4 pages right now of basically names and phone numbers. Might have to make a call. Make a call, and maybe if they'll respond right then and there, that they're good to go or something like that. But get their email, because most of them have emails. Some have websites, but I'll get that out to everybody.
The guy that does that golf cart from East Milwaukee, he was at the Mitch session, I guess you'd say he was the one that.
He was complaining. He said, I wouldn't have voted for this bill.
Yeah.
He's on 14th and Alpine,
Yeah,
right next to the beauty salon over there.
he owns the storage buildings too, I believe.
Yeah.
Gary, you want to go with me after this meeting? I'll go down 14 and hit those businesses.
He's from Wanakee, and Wanakee, they got a solar farm project back there. We read that yesterday. And Wanakee people are all up in arms.
Are we allowed as an ad hoc committee to have a private session?
I don't know.
Maybe a
Someone
question.
like to close.
I mean, the town does. Why Closed can't we? session? Yeah, closed session.
Ad hoc committee.
They make us follow all the other damn rules. I mean, why can't we have a closed session?
We are a little more lenient with Roberts than that particular board meeting. But
Yeah. A commission, I would say, yeah. Committee, I don't.
Well, then we could, you know what, we could close the committee.
what would be the purpose of having
We
closed?
could have a coffee social gathering for anybody that wants to attend or get together for coffee.
Well, I mean, this is like giving the other team the playlist.
There's statutory reasons why you would have a closed session. So whatever your closed session is for, you would have to fall under one of those statutory reasons. So if it doesn't, and typically the big statutory reasons are, employment issues, those types of things, or dealing with land purchase or legal matter.
I would say we've got one with the legal matter, looking at a class action suit. to discuss that in a closed door meeting.
I mean, that's an attorney
Well,
question.
maybe
I don't
we
know that
refer
it
that to the
necessarily
town board
qualifies it.
to do that. You could do that as a closed session. Maybe we refer that topic to the town board.
Town board,
Have to do it in-house.
if it doesn't come under one of the qualifications, I mean, legal is one of them, yes.
But they're specific. There's specific statutory reasons why you would be allowed to have a closed session where the public is not privy to that information. You know, the purpose of public meetings are so the public gets that. In those statutory reasons, it is typically employee-related matters or legal matters.
Okay. Thought I would ask.
I was going to say about the state fire marshal, sending the petitions to the state fire marshal would be beneficial too, but one of the things I was going to say is don't be put off if he's not interested or willing to get involved, he or she, whoever it is. And then, DNR, what reasons why those agencies or individuals stay out of things like this is because if they get involved, now they're setting a precedence for being involved for every other community that follows, right? Or every other agency that follows. They're setting that precedence out there. They were involved in this one particular thing. Yeah, but what about us? What about us? So that's part of the reason why, like DNR, for example, said they're not getting involved in this. That's probably part of the reason why.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to be playing the other side of the coin. Sometimes getting him involved can get a change. And I'll give you an example. In 1959, there was a school fire in Chicago, the Our Lady of the Angels. 96 kids got killed. That fire prompted putting fire doors and sprinklers in all the schools and the alarms right to the fire station. Sometimes it takes something like that or something like what we're doing to prompt action.
And I 100% agree with that. There isn't an emergent situation in this, in that to the town there is, to the DNR not necessarily, unless you're talking about some environmental things or whatever. There isn't that emergent, urgent thing that they have to be concerned about in changing any further policy or legislation on. But you're right. I totally agree with you. And just because there's that idea of not wanting to set precedents doesn't mean it can't happen and that it, in the future may be a good thing. I'm just saying probably a large part of the reason why is they don't want to have to be setting precedents on something like this because now every other town is going to follow suit and want the DNR to be involved in every single thing they do. So that's what I'm saying. If you contact the fire marshal, don't be too put off or discouraged if just okay, and then you don't get a response after that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. I'm trying to help guide you guys through some of this administrative and some of the legalistic stuff here that why they may not want to participate in this.
Well, we do know that.
One of the questions I have real quick is, we've talked about the fact that the town of Rome is in the top 10 of fire risk areas in the state of Wisconsin. Do we know the absolute number within that top 10?
You might get that information from our fire chief, Mark King. Mark could probably supply you with that. He could probably give you the number for the fire marshal in the state.
Yeah.
If you want to reach out to Mark.
Talk to him first.
You were going to say something?
I was just going to say, I've talked to the DNR with different issues like the fish cribs and like Camelot here, and they don't want to get involved. Mm-hmm. That's their thing. They don't want to get involved. They have the police or fire take care of it. I had the discussion with Ms. Wilson with the forestry agent here in Adams County about the 2,000 acres here. DNR didn't want to get involved because that's a private property. What they do with it is their business. They're not going to get involved. That's my experience with the DNR.
My experience with the DNR, and it's very similar in Minnesota too, which I have a little more experience with them, but they have their pet projects that they're interested in, and that's about it. And they don't want to be involved in just because it's a care for the community doesn't necessarily mean it's a care for the DNR. So it is the unfortunate reality, and it's not just in Wisconsin. They have a very similar attitude over in Minnesota in how they conduct their business. So again, it's
My
a state
letter to them-
agency that
My letter to them pointed out that there are endangered species here, and they're doing nothing about it. And if they're not gonna protect us, then who will?
well,
And then I cited the fact that the town of Grant had the endangered prairie chicken population, and the PSC had already ruled that they could have the farm. Well, then they got the Wisconsin Wildlife Federation involved. They made an appeal to the PSC, and while the appeal was in place, the solar company agreed to carve out 750 acres of the 4,000 acres or whatever to move. I don't know who's going to move them, the prairie chicken to that area, and they made
They'll probably
they
put a
made a $1
KFC on
million
it.
donation to the Wisconsin Wildlife Federation.
that's it right there.
And they withdrew the appeal, and they also made a $2.1 million donation to the Wisconsin DNR.
Yeah.
But I mean, 2.1. That I don't know how you guys feel about that. I mean, that's just a disguise for a bribe. But the whole point is, why don't more people know about this? I mean, there again.
Well, again, the issue is what's illegal and what's unethical.
Well, don't
And
you-
this is where it's an air. Well, I'm telling you, I know, my whole life in law. You have to realize what someone does unethical. If they can do it, they can do it.
Yep.
But what's illegal is a different ballgame. So, who cares if you do something unethical? They don't care.
Wisconsin State Statute 19.43 or .45. I just sent it on to a couple of people this morning. I sent it to all the news stations, the media, WAOW, WZAW, who else? Radio station, newspapers. And I told them again, with the town of Morgan, they missed the point. It wasn't just the two town officials that took the money for their property. There's against that section. It's illegal on both sides. It's illegal to accept it. It's illegal to accept it. It's also illegal to offer it. And I sent it on to everybody. I also sent it on to the another committee. I'm going to send it on to the DOJ also. It's a state thing, but somebody's got to look into it. So.
All right. Anybody have? We're an hour and 20 minutes into our meeting. Do anybody else have anything that should be brought up before I recap everything we've decided today?
Let me give you a quick rundown with the attorney. We have a lot more. We did talk to him at length last week. We gave him a lot of the information. One thing that was kind of surprising, and he didn't know that there was a big difference between the MFL and agricultural. He said this is agricultural land. It's not the same. MFL is totally different. It's handled totally different, and it's governed totally different. So he's looking into that as another angle. Again, back taxes, availability, if they want to do it. After the fact, they probably would not go back to MFL land, so they'd be stuck with property. They'd be stuck with it, and they'd pay the higher tax rate. The other thing, he thought that we could keep going with the petitions. He thought that was a pretty good idea, getting them sent out to all the population. What else? He had a lot going. He did say he didn't expect to be here because he wouldn't testify, but Mark and I said we want him here for that meeting to ensure that there's not putting the mumbo-jumbo crap on us that we wouldn't understand. He did say we wouldn't have to pay for any of the operations, things from the PSC. It'll be their responsibility or NextEra. He did say there's a lot of shady people in some of the organizations. I'm not going to go any deeper than that. Any questions? What else do we have? We spent a good hour with him. He's working on everything that I gave him on the information too, and I've been feeding him more and more this week too. So every time I get something, I send it on to him. The letter I got this morning was about Kansas and what they did against NextEra. And I think we need to expand our horizons and look at NextEra around the country and look at other operations they've done and things that they may have gotten their fingers dirty with. There's probably more out there that we don't know.
They're also in Canada.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, it's, I don't trust them. One thing, I'm preparing another letter to the PSC. I've already done one on the open comments. The other one I'm putting in there to I'm addressing it to the 3 PSC members, even though it'll go to their subordinates. It basically says, this is going to be your legacy. You're dealing with a company that, I'm not going to say they're corrupt outright, but I am going to say that they are, in my opinion, violating Statute 19 by offering funds here. They've done it here. They're working on different issues with Christiana. Who knows what else? They're not trustworthy. How can you deal? Why would you even deal with a company like this that is not truthful and honest? That testimony they put out there is all nonsense. I mean, they have the support of the community. What planet are they coming from? Not at all.
Well, you know that things, you just know because it is the truth that there's things that we discover, there's so much more that we do not know.
Exactly, yeah. But Stan has all that information, so he's working on it. So, but any more we can give him.
Can you repeat that statute law?
It's 19.43 or 0.45. It's pretty plain.
I looked them up, it looked like they were mainly owned by offshore. I mean, they're here in the United States, but it's offshore companies and people who invest their money and.
Well, there's free money involved here.
Well,
Free federal.
Next year is a public company.
Free taxpayer money.
Next year they are.
We're not benefiting from it.
I was looking at abandoned solar farms, and it's interesting when you look that up. So there's a $2 billion solar farm headed for complete bankruptcy in California.
That's a mirror. That's a mirror.
Not the same thing, but again, I put a note
But
on
there's
it.
others here.
It shows how poorly the government.
Crescent Dunes is another one.
You remember Cylinder from a few years ago?
Yeah.
500 million.
Yeah, that was
Great.
Obama's big thing. Yeah.
But you know what? There's more studies coming out too. My sister in Florida said studied a shocking solar farm bird death that mainstream media are telling you about.
Yeah.
And this is as solar farms are an ecological disaster, turning productive land into a nature dead zone. You know that. Listen to this though. Birds frequently fly into the panels, mistaking them for water, while electrocution and incineration are common. And so this is all about the studies they've done.
That's testimony for the PSC.
Exactly.
Right. I was also going to say it might be pretty impactful when they show up if you can make posters and you just need a plotter or a big print. I think we have a plotter here to print out some pictures that look like this and what these abandoned solar farms look like. And there they said, there's nowhere else they can put these. There's nothing else they can do with these. They just sit. So it also might be impactful to have photos of these things.
That would be a great idea because solar panels, big deal, but when you see what they actually do to the community after 20 years or so.
Yeah, and they say the end of life is supposed to be 30 years, and it's looking like it's turning out to be maybe a lot less than that.
It'll be a lot less than that. I mean, there's new technology coming out. The Japanese supposedly just invented something.
3 years are going to be probably
rendered useless.
Again,
Europe is not even using them. We were just there and they had
they're going to tell you.
Free money like we do.
They're going to tell you that they're recyclable, but they only recycle about 10% because of the expense.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen. No, we won't take them here. I mean,
yeah, what's happening in the UK? Yeah, we're on the end of the 31 communities. We're not number 1 or 2. There's a lot more research out there, and you're right. We need to find that and get that. Yes, okay.
Anybody else? Okay, so just to recap, thank you again, Lori, for the 3 letters you've written. We need to create a table out there along with a list of who to send them to. We need to get a postcard with the PSC meeting, but before we do that, we need to understand what the content is going to be, and that's where we need some help from Stan to prepare people. Because if we're going to do a trifold or a postcard, telling people what they can do. You know, they've asked the question, what can we do as a citizen? You can testify. Get the petition wrapped up and sent to all the people that need to have them to show that we've got over 1,000 songs. The sign thing, if there's a way to distribute more signs, including on owned roads where we won't violate any sort of laws, we should do that. And I don't know how we get them to other people. Maybe we can see if Quick Trip wants to put them. Maybe they don't want to put a sign. Maybe they want to put a purple line in front of Quick Trip. the business owner thing, again, with more of a letter to the business owners rather than a meeting, correct?
I'd rather see an email.
Email, okay, email.
Might get a quick response and then at least,
Do we have first of all, do we have a letter created that we can use already, or do we create a letter, or, and do we have their email?
I got the phone numbers, and I do have a lot of emails or websites, but, need help there. I need help there.
If you give me a list of the phone numbers, I'll start calling.
I'll send it out to everybody. Somebody don't want to take a page each or something.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we're just going to tell them that we need your email address so we can send you information relative to the.
Meantime, come up with a questionnaire form on the email, but make it short and sweet so it doesn't take too much time.
And if you're not in support of it, then just delete the email. But
Yeah.
that was the last thing on the list. Anything that I missed? Anybody?
So we decided that the PSC meeting is going to be held at town hall.
Yes, we did.
We divvy it up between the two times.
I think so too.
We got to figure out a way to.
The media will be here for that one. I can guarantee you they'll be here for that one.
I mean, I could contact them like I've been doing. I mean, this guy on Channel 9, when he left up out of here, he had an interest in what's happening about the monies in Morgan. Like, what's his name? Dylan,
Yeah.
And I was hoping to see some kind of like lead story. Unless he's still investigating.
No. It was on that night and the next
But he didn't talk about Morgan.
No, that's a whole
He didn't
different
talk
subject.
about the monies. He talked to you.
That's a whole different subject. He
Right.
just discussed ours.
Because he was in that parking lot time.
Emily's looking at it separately, too.
Right. And the same with the WSAW, Channel 7. Because she requested all the information about, she wanted a copy of the contract. Now, are they doing something with it? I mean, I know with an investigation, it takes time to kind of contact people. They contact you back. You try to confirm if this is valid information, if it's BS. So maybe they're putting a story together. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And the same goes with Melissa on the radio station.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that they're going to follow up.
All we can do is put it out there. I want to also let the PSC know and everybody else next year that even if they get approval and the whole thing passes, I'm not letting up. I'm going to keep going. We're going to keep going. It's going to be media front and center 2 years from now. Doesn't matter. I don't think they've come up against this kind of resistance in any of their towns.
They picked the wrong time. That's why they were upset because we ruffled their feathers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we haven't started ruffling.
Yeah, well, we're not just ruffling them. We're gonna,
Oh, here we go.
we're gonna pluck them.
We need a Trojan horse.
You got to scald them first before you pluck them. So
When's our next meeting?
that's what I'm going to get to. If we're done, next meeting. Gary got a thought.
What time?
I don't know. Gary has a thought. His eyebrows both perked up.
Sounds good to me.
What day?
These are good days.
Wednesday.
Wednesday? That'd be October 15th, right?
The 15th.
At 10 o'clock.
Lauren, you want to check real quick and see? Yeah, I can't make that one. You gotta make it for 11:30. Okay.
We could do it in the afternoon at like 1 o'clock or something.
I'm gonna ask him if 1 o'clock's okay. Yeah.
We have a triax meeting at 9.
All right, so you want to push it back?
1 o'clock?
1 o'clock it is.
She's checking.
Check in to see if we're available.
I want to say Wednesday there's a planning commission at 4.
That's okay. If we want
But no, that's at 4.
What about Thursday?
Thursday's got the board meeting, and
there'll be a board meeting, and I don't think it's CDA that day.
I think there's a planning commission next week at 4.
Well, we'll be done. We only take an hour and a half at the most.
Yeah.
Am I right, Tim?
No, it's Tuesday at 4.
So you can't be here
Okay, we're good.
Next Wednesday, I won't be here. I forgot about that.
We do have a board meeting at 5 p.m.
On Thursday.
on Thursday.
I got you covered.
And Wednesday, too. We have budget.
Oh, that's right. Budget meeting at 4. That's at 5. 4.
That's
All right, so Wednesday doesn't work. Do we want to do Thursday?
Thursday?
Let me see what's available.
Or Tuesday? Tuesday or Thursday?
have an hours meeting at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Oh, I do.
Jason and I have been hitting these spots and we're searching for creatures, whatever we can find. So we have been
Lori, what you got for us?
through the woods.
We're on Thursday now.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I do suggest that we read through the other site to look at each of the other experts, because they do give a detailed report of their misdoings, we'll say. BS.
Well, that's the whole thing, is, I mean, we, like you said, regardless of where this goes, we're exposing a lot. You know, and I always said, I'm telling people, we have a lot of very smart people on this group. And a lot of people that have a desire to.
What time?
Thursday is available morning or afternoon, so when you want as a group.
Morning.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock? Yes, I is.
That would be on the 17th?
6 to.
6? 16. What time?
10 o'clock.
How's it coming?
You here?
I think Mark forgot about today's meeting. I think Mark forgot about today.
Send it out and then you.
Yeah.
All right, so we're meeting next Thursday at 10 o'clock. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I will no further.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
You gotta go down there. Well, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, let's go down.
What do you think?
And that's just more season.
Some good ideas. I think,
Dog and bone.